Hello everyone, this is your guide, this is your mentor, your friend Imran Afzal. I'm so glad that you are here. Today I'm going to share with you a tip on interview skills, and that is storytelling. Did you know storytelling is a very powerful tool that you could utilize in your interview process? People do personate and relate to your stories when you add your stories when you're answering a question. In the past, when people didn't have digital media, for example, theaters or movies or TV, they would actually go to storytellers or hire the storytellers and listen to the stories from them. Even today, when people actually bored, they actually want to hang out with people who are a good storyteller. I'm sure you want to hang out with your friends who are a good storyteller, right? That's a power of storytelling. Now, if you want to enhance more on storytelling, I would recommend you to go online. There are tons of articles, tons of videos out there that will actually tell you or guide you to be a good storyteller. What I could tell you, a couple of points that you should focus on. Number one is your story doesn't have to be funny. As long as your story supports what you have written in your resume, or what actually tells everything about yourself, the kind of person you are, that's a perfect story. Another thing is, I don't want you to make up a story. If you're using someone else's story, I want you to give them the credit that this is that person's story. Now, another great tip I could give you about storytelling. Now, you're probably thinking, oh my God, I really don't have a story to tell. Now, how can I remember a story? How can I remember a story from the past? I understand people sometimes are not good in storytelling. That is perfectly fine. Now, here's a really good way of remembering that. I want you to go through your resume. Remember, I want you to read every line that you have written in your resume, and then try to remember. Do you think that there is a story behind that line? If not, that's fine. Go to the next line. Then try to remember, is there a story behind that line? And I'm sure by the time you're going to be done with your resume, you're going to have at least 2 or 3 stories. Another thing that I could tell you, read through the job description and try to identify all the keywords. For example, I'm sure you're going to find keywords like team player, right? Or I have few of them written here like leader, result-oriented, honest, problem solvers. Look at these keywords and then think of them. When was the time when I acted as a leader? Remember that story. When was the time when I actually produced a result? When was the time when I acted as a team player? Maybe not in a corporate world. Maybe you were in a college and you were given a project from your professor to work on it together. I'm sure everybody went through this. That's a story again. So bring those stories. Even if you helped someone in your life and you went through so much hardship, put that in there. It shows that you're a really hardworking person. So that's my tip for today, that you have to add your story. And where you should add a story, the very first moment that you're going to get to put your story and present it is when they're going to ask you, tell me about yourself. That's a huge opportunity for you. Please add a couple of stories there. Also, during the interview process, when they ask you questions back and forth, you could always say, oh, by the way, that reminds me of a story when I was in college. By the way, that reminds me of the time when I was working for ABC company and I had to go through the same process. Storytelling. People will get entertained, they will glued to what you have to say, and they're going to find it very, very beneficial when they have to make a decision. So that was my tip. I hope you really like it, and I hope it really helps you. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell, because I want you to be notified every time I upload a video. Thank you and good luck.